regimen?
Yes.
All right. We was talking on the phone, and you were saying about the
Well, both my wife and I, we grew up in the 1920s and the 1930s, and that's when the Great Depression was on. And, of course, during that time, there were more people that were out of work than what was working. And so things were extremely scarce, and I mean, people just think about it's food that was scarce, or even if it was there, you couldn't afford it. But it was everything that was scarce. You couldn't afford to buy shoes, you couldn't afford to buy clothing, and so people made do. I mean, my wife still mends some things, we'll say if a collar of a shirt wears out, well, instead of throwing the shirt away, she'll put a new collar on it.
Right, they don't...
things like that, and people don't realize that today, that's how we lived 80, 90 years ago.
I know.
And of course our parents were doing the same thing. You were lucky if one of your parents were working. You were well off then, but so many families, nobody was working because there wasn't any work.
Right. I know when I was young, they gave a lot of the kids away because they couldn't afford to feed them.
Yes. Oh, yes. I mean, there were such things as children's homes and orphanages and things like that. And the other thing that the children don't realize today, children went to work when they were 12 years old.
Right.
A full-time job. There's still plenty of pictures available of 12-year-old kids working in the textile mills in Manchester. And they don't realize, I'm the man that does my hayfield. He's only in his 60s, but he said his first job he got 40 cents an hour. And so they just don't realize it. Oh, I got somebody coming to the door, so I gotta go.
All right, Regimen.
All right.
Well, it was a blessing to hear your stories, and I'm so thankful to have you, Regimen. You're 93 years old, and you come from England, and you've been doing the beekeeping for 40 years. I'm going to put this on the recorder.
Okay. All right. I'll talk to you another time.
All right, Regimen. Love you.
Bye.
I'm going to show the bees one more time. And he had a tomato that come from Russia. I think it was Russia, something like that. And he got it from a friend. And he kept that tomato, and he keeps planting the same thing in his yard every year and saves the seeds.